Good evening, I'm Tim Connolly with a look at sports. In preseason football last night at Anaheim Stadium, the Rams dropped to 0-2 with a 40-31 loss to the Denver Broncos. Jim Everett completed 16 of 24 passes for 168 yards and a 17-7 halftime lead. In the second half, though, the subs played, and Denver outscored the Rams 33-14 to hand the Rams their second loss. Coach John Robinson indicated he was pleased with what he saw, saying the Rams are better now than they were last year at this time when they were 2-0. Turning to tennis action, it was a wet day at Wimbledon. Stefan Edberg in the near court serving to Boris Becker. Here we go early in the match. Edberg serving, moving to the net, off the net, Becker quickly with the backhand, but Edberg with the smash. Becker, a two-time champ, serving in the near court. This is a great point. Both men are all over the court. Becker with the forehand. Edberg returns another forehand. Edberg one better once again. Still a first set. Edberg in the far court. He didn't seem nervous in his first Wimbledon final, but in this point, Becker hits the backhand for a winner. Edberg was leading 3-2 when the rains came. They played 22 minutes. It's only the second time in Wimbledon history that it's been rained out. They'll resume play tomorrow with Becker serving. Over to baseball, and the pennant races are heating up. In the National League West, the Dodgers' lead was cut to 3.5 games over Houston and 5 over the Giants. Let's take a look at some highlights. Do you think the Dodgers might be a shade overconfident? When Franklin Stubbs got to former Dodger Rick Sutcliffe for this third-inning RBI single, it was 1-zip LA. Half an inning later, though, the slate was clean again. Andre Dawson lofted a Sean Hilligus offering to right field, and Dave Martinez scored. In the seventh, Dawson singled, went to third on Ryan Sandberg's base hit, and then scored on Mark Grace's sacrifice fly to left. The Cubs led 2-1. From then on, there was no joy for the Dodgers unless you count the beach ball bingo. But by and large, it was no day at the beach for the locals. Rick Dempsey grounded out with runner on ninth. The Dodgers fell 2-1. The rest of the National League scoreboard, again, the Cubs over the Dodgers 2-1. The Giants beat Pittsburgh at Candlestick 4-0. Chris Sabo hit a home run as the Reds edged the Phillies 3-2. St. Louis got by San Diego 5-4. Montreal crushed Atlanta 9-2. And New York with Dwight Gooden beat Houston and Nolan Ryan 5-0. On the golf course today, Peter Jacobsen, Jody Mudd, and Tim Simpson shot 4 under par 68s to share the second round lead in the $750,000 St. Jude Open Golf Tournament in Memphis, Tennessee. South African Nick Price had the best round of the day, a 7 under par 64, and he's 2 shots back of the leaders. Onto the senior circuit, Billy Casper shot a 1 under par 71 to take a 3-stroke lead in the United States Senior Open Golf Tournament in Chicago. That's it for now. I'll be back at 11 with a complete sports wrap-up. I'm Tim Connolly, SCA Sports. I'm Tim Connolly, your roving reporter at Anaheim Stadium. With me right now is Clyde Wright, the former California pitcher who threw a no-hitter, the first Angel no-hitter in 1970, and then he retired from baseball in 1975. Clyde, tell us what life is like after baseball.
It's a lot easier now. I don't have to run, I don't have to stay in shape, and I don't give up any more home runs.
All right. Tell us, a lot of sports figures these days find it very difficult to make the transition from sports back into private life. How did you find it?
Well, it's tough because after I retired in '78, I came back from Japan for 2 years. I couldn't make up my mind what I really wanted to do. But in 1980, I opened up my own pitching school. I still work with kids. I'm still involved in baseball. So that's, what I want to do, and I'm involved in it.
How did you feel? What was your reaction after your no-hitter in 1970?
I just went blank on the mound. I said, there's no way this could have happened to Noah Hillbilly out of Tennessee.
Well, congratulations. That was a great game. Right now we have, you played in Japan. What was the money like then compared to?
Well, I made more money in Japan. The highest amount of money I made in Japan was $87,500 a year, and the most I made in the States was $67,500. So, people look at me, and back when I was playing, that was enough money to live on for a year.
Quickly, how has baseball changed since the time you've left the game till now?
The guys are bigger, they're stronger, and they hit it farther.
This is Tim Connolly, Clyde Wright, Anaheim Stadium, back to the booth.
Hi, I'm Kurt Ruth, back here with my broadcasting partner Tim Connolly. We're back at Hollyfield Park, where we've just seen John Glenn defeat Norwalk 10-1 in the Suburban League clash. Tim, why don't you give us a rundown on the final stats?
John Glenn scored 10 runs, 8 hits, and 1 error. Norwalk had 1 run, 6 hits, and 3 errors. Wasn't a real good game for Norwalk, a lot of sloppy play. John Glenn, their pitcher Eddie Navarro, came out real tough, though, and he pitched a complete game. So he did real well for the evening. He threw a lot of fastballs, had a real good game, had a lot of backup from the infield.
Yes, and I thought, once again, the same thing you were thinking. The key to the ball game was John Glenn played defense and threw strikes, and Norwalk didn't quite do the same thing that they had to do. But that's about wraps the game up. For the crew at Norwalk Community Cable Channel 56 and Tim Connolly, I'm Kurt Ruth saying thank you for coming, and please stay tuned for next week's ball game from Gar High School, the Gar faculty versus the Celebrity Stars. Good evening. Norwalk Community Television presents Basketball Game of the Week. Tonight's game, the Celebrity All-Stars versus the Gar faculty. Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm Kurt Ruth, and we're here tonight at Gar High School for tonight's exhibition basketball contest between the Celebrity All-Stars and the Gar faculty. It should be a lot of fun tonight, and for more on the game, let's go to our broadcasting partner, Tim Connolly. Tim?
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Gar High School. I'm Tim Connolly along with Steve Burton for the game between the Gar High School faculty and the Hollywood celebrities. This evening, Steve Burton has taken time out to come in and play to benefit the high school class, the senior class of Gar High School. And we'd like to ask Steve a couple of questions right now. Out of your busy schedule, how do you find time to come and play these exhibitions?
Well, usually we tape during the day, and I usually get off about 4 or 5, and which gives me time to come down here and play because I love basketball, love the people. It's just a great cause.
Steve plays on the series Out of This World as Chris Fuller, is it?
Yeah.
Chris Fuller. And he's also appeared on
Days of Our Lives.
Days of Our Lives. Now, which show do you prefer doing?
Well, actually, I was doing both at one time, and since the characters are so much different from each other, I had a great time doing both. But now I'm just doing Out of This World, so I have no choice.
Do you find time to? Are you finished with high school? Or are you still going to high school?
I just graduated last year, and I've been working ever since.
Do you have any plans on going to college?
The way I see it is I'm going to work for a couple of years first, then probably 90, 91, I'll go to a community college for 2 years. Just to have something to fall back on in case it doesn't go through.
How many hours during the week do you put in on your acting career?
Usually it's from about 10 in the morning until 5 or 6 at night.
So that's a long, tough road. That's 5 days a week or 6 days a week?
5 days a week.
That's a pretty exciting career. How can you tell the audience at home, young people that would like to get into acting, what can they do?
Just, all I have to say is if you believe in yourself and you believe you can do it, you can do it. That's all there is to it, really.
How are your basketball skills? What do you think you're going to do in tonight's game?
I don't know. I've been shooting very badly right now, so I have no idea.
Well, okay, we'll let you get back to hit a couple of buckets and warm up. Steve Burton, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go back to the booth right now. Here at Cerritos College, Coach Dave Newell has his West squad practicing once again in preparation for the 605 Freeway All-Star game. With all the young All-Star talent from the local area high schools, it should prove to be an exciting and high-scoring game. Young starters like Michael Carter, the quarterback from Long Beach Poly, and running back Ralph Della Torre out of El Rancho could prove to be the catalysts if they can get their passing and option plays in high gear early. Good evening, I'm Tim Connolly and this is News Brief. Speeding motorists in Norwalk may soon be greeted with a subtle reminder to slow down. The city's Public Safety Division unveiled plans to utilize a state-of-the-art radar display unit in order to encourage motorists to drive safely and obey the posted speed limit signs. The portable radar system will be used at various locations throughout the city. The unit will track approaching vehicles and display the speed in fluorescent digits clearly visible to the driver. Kevin Gano, the public safety coordinator for the city of Norwalk, explained how the radar will be used. Turning to sports, the Norwalk Cardinals baseball team swept through the Pacific Regional Playoffs on their way to a 5th consecutive appearance in the Mickey Mantle Division World Series. The Cardinals unleashed a barrage of homers in the final 2 games of the playoffs held at the Lake Center Athletic Park in Santa Fe Springs. The Cards pounded the Montebello Stars 17-4 in the 3.5-hour final. Cards' Mark Newfield belted 7 homers and 3 doubles in the final 5 games of the Pacific Regionals. Manager Manuel Paz hopes his team can continue their hitting spree during the World Series in Connecticut. For News Brief, I'm Tim Connolly.
The ref stopped something there. A new puck, I guess, it looks like. There's some stats on Benoit Hogue. 8 points versus the Nordiques this season. There's the face-off. The Sabres control it. At the blue line, Sutton has it. He takes a shot and he scores! Sutton has it on the left side. He just takes a quick flick of the wrist and he sends it into the left side of the net. Just over the stick of Cloutier. Here we are at this angle. They bring it across the front of the blue line. He sends it over on the right side and then he just quick flicks it right under Cloutier. And just like that, at 9:15 left in the 3rd period, the Sabres have tied it at 4-4. 4-4 right now with 7:20 left in the 3rd period, and there was a penalty just now tripping by Benoit Hogue, 2 minutes. So now Quebec will have a power play and they'll be able to try and break this 4-4 deadlock. Quebec has won 3 out of the 7 contests so far this year with the Sabres. They've tied 2 more. The Sabres are looking right now to keep a roll. They've won 4 out of their last 5. Here comes the replay right now. He's tripped up right there by Hogue. 12:40, there's Hogue in the penalty box.